Expressions for use in writing social issues. You may study some useful expression and use them in your writing of article for social issues. Useful phrases for HKDSE English. Writing 1. The XXX is certainly worth considering as having thought through or consider the various options, 選項 or alternatives, 替代方案, I feel that XXX should be adopted. XXX's idea seems the most convincing as it is well thought through and most comprehensive and detailed. In no uncertain terms, the XXX package is most appropriate for the XXX idea is by far the most feasible and practical. Having considered the merits and demerits of all three proposals, this XXX proposal is still the most feasible and possible. Despite the few minor drawbacks or shortcomings or setbacks or limitations, the XXX proposal is still worth considering because true, the XXX proposal has a few limitations or constraints, but they are far outweighed by the numerous disadvantages, benefits, or merits. While the other two XXX have their merits, this XXX is even more creditable. Undeniably, 無可否認, the other two options have their merits or benefits or strengths, but they do have some serious drawbacks. XXX, however, this XXX idea far surpasses the others in terms of this XXX is comparatively or relatively more advantageous. Expressing a view. I am of the option of view that. My view or option is that, in my opinion, equal to from my point of view, equal to according to. I would recommend or advocate that. I hold the view or opinion that. I'm all for. Expressing disagreement or disapproval. I disagree with the view that. I disapprove of that. I reject. I tend or am inclined to reject the topic shifters, in informal letters especially for engaging reader. By the way, incidentally, anyway, oh yes, that reminds me, as I was saying before, conversation markers, in informal letters especially for engaging reader. As you well know, I suppose, come to think of it, well, guess what? I don't suppose you have heard of it. Thank goodness. Concluding remarks. In informal letters, especially for engaging the reader. Do write often. Do stay in touch. We'll keep in touch. Bye for now. Till we meet again. Do send my regards to Don't forget to write. Useful expressions for discussing social issues. 於事無補 of no help, of no avail, no use. 想出 come up with. 誇耀 brag about, boast about, showed off, speak too highly of. 對抗權威 stand up against authority, resist boldly the authority. 排除這可能性 rule out the possibility. 依靠 count on, depend on. 主動 take the initiative. 對此標準來算 by this criterion, by this standard. 乍看之下 at first glance. 面對 in the face of, in the presence of. 以 by means of, by virtue of, by the use of. 不惜代價 at all costs. 每況愈下 things go from bad to worse. 不擇手段 unscrupulously, by hook or by crook. 關鍵時刻 at the critical moment. 逃避問題 evade the question. 不易懂的 elusive, hard to understand. 頑固的 headstrong, obstinate, stubborn. 無藥可救 incurable. 無法避免的 unavoidable, inevitable. 解藥 a cure for, a remedy for. 引起了廣泛的公眾關注 arouse wide public concern, draw public attention. 也不例外 be no exception. 對產生有利或不有利的影響 exert positive or negative effect on. 做出共同努力 make joint efforts. 不可推卸的義務 an unshakable duty. 理論和實踐相結合 integrate theory with practice. 必然趨勢 an irresistible trend of. Social Issue 1. Read the article. Task 1. What are the consequences of observing too much social networking websites such as Facebook and Twitter? Suggested answer. Becoming addicted to them. Precious time being wasted. Affecting work performance or academic results. Task 2. Read the following article and add appropriate connectives in the blanks. For example, therefore, in addition to, in spite of, to conclude, recently, however. Task 2. Answers. Welcome mainland domestic helpers. Flipping through the newspaper, news of conflicts between foreign domestic helpers and local employers are not rare. Complaints made by employers about their domestic helpers are often heard. The main reason for these conflicts may be due to the language barrier and cultural differences. Recently, the government has proposed the import of domestic helpers from the mainland. This proposal seems a solution to the problem. However, some employers express their worries towards the policy. In this essay, I will discuss the benefits brought by the proposal policy and examine the worries of the employers. One of the salient benefits of proposed policy is better communication between employers and the mainland domestic helpers, compared with those helpers from the Philippines and Indonesia. Most foreign domestic helpers can only speak English, and then often very limited English. It is difficult for them to communicate with the local families, especially the elderly and children. Therefore, misunderstandings may occur, resulting in disputes. With the adoption of the proposed policy, the language barrier can be removed as both the helpers and the employers are speaking the same language. Some point out the language barrier still exists as some mainland domestic helpers can only speak other dialects, but not Cantonese. Indeed, this is only a minor problem. Despite speaking different dialects, both parties can still communicate through written Chinese. Therefore, the language barrier will no longer be a problem if mainland domestic helpers are imported. In addition to better communication, the mainland domestic helpers share the same culture with their employers. Usually, employers have to spend much time teaching foreign domestic helpers to cook as their eating habits and cooking style is different from ours. In some cases, foreign domestic helpers who believe in Islam may find it offensive to prepare pork, as it is prohibited according to Islamic laws. Consider the mainland domestic helpers. The food cultures of different provinces are more or less the same. Thus, the dishes prepared by the helpers are not completely foreign to local employers. In spite of all the benefits, some employers still have reservations about the policy. They are worried that the domestic helpers may abuse the system in order to settle in Hong Kong permanently. However, the government is going to conduct a research to find out ways to plug the possible loopholes. For example, an age limit will be set. Only those who are aged 45 or above will be allowed to work in Hong Kong, as they are unlikely to seek permanent residence here. Another measure is to limit domestic workers to work in the territory for no more than 6 years. Hopefully, with all these measures, no domestic helpers will abuse the system. To conclude, the import of mainland domestic helpers does bring a lot of benefits to local employers. Not only will local families benefit, our fellow countrymen can also raise their living standard by earning more money. It is a win-win situation, and the policy should be implemented. Now, do the exercise to test yourself. Bye.